Well, hi guys, welcome to episode number 21 of Relentless Talk Radio. Today is an example of how life goes, right? So I had someone in the philanthropy spot this morning and somebody in the health and fitness spot last night. And one of my guests had a son break his wrist. Moms, can you relate? You know, you've got a perfect plan to do things, and then your kid has the audacity to get hurt, right? So she's having surgery on her son's wrist today. And the other piece, the philanthropy piece, so this is interesting. I have this project that I'm doing called The Art of Fearlessly Giving Back. And every year I start the project sooner and sooner and sooner and sooner prior to when the paintings are happening. So let me back up a little bit and tell you a little about it, and I'll tell you what's happening today as far as the philanthropy piece of the show is called. So segment one is always philanthropy. And so the project is called The Art of Fearlessly Giving Back. And what I do in this series is I highlight an organization, and the first year I highlighted a business first and 6 of the companies that nonprofits they support. So last year I highlighted Relentless Talk Radio, WebPT, and 6 charities they support. Well, this year I decided that I would feature a nonprofit and highlight 13 businesses that support that nonprofit. And so I thought, how could I create kind of a little bit of a buzz around choosing the nonprofit? Because I learned an awful lot on The Art of Fearlessly Giving Back last year. Just from doing the project, you always learn something. So I thought, well, why don't I involve an organization that could help me choose the charities? So I'm working with the Arizona Alliance for Nonprofits to help me choose 13 charities that I'll be interviewing between now and August 13th. Now, we decided to do this about a month or so ago, which gave us a little bit of time. It was still pretty quick to get a hold of all the charities in the organization to make a decision on how we would choose the 13. And both of us, myself and the Arizona Alliance for Nonprofits, had let's say a workload shift, right? And this is always the case when you do a big project. So can you relate when you decide, okay, I'm going to do a project this way, and then maybe somebody's kid gets hurt and they're out for a couple of weeks, or somebody has the flu, or a job position changes, or a key person in a key position decides to move to a different company or something like that. And over the past 6 years where I've done these projects where I highlight business owners and I tell a story, and the story and the interview inspires a painting. That's my model as far as what I do for social practice art. Every time I do a project and I think, well, this time it's just going to be easier. This time I have no more from the last time, and I'm going to switch over this and switch over that. I'm going to avoid this and that. Every single time there's always something that comes up pretty early in the game that makes it interesting. So I have 2 nonprofits that I really want to consider, and I spoke with them last week, and they have to get clearance in their organization to be part of the project. So we have to wait on those guys. So I had someone else kind of in this position today to kind of talk about what we're going to talk about, and they had a change. So I guess my story as far as, what I do on Relentless Talk Radio is I share the process. And even doing that is, I find myself saying, oh no, I want to spin this so that nobody thinks anything bad, or I don't confuse people. And the whole point of me actually sharing real time is to share real time. And so when you're doing a project real time, it means that things happen real time. So what happened today was I have to wait on 2 charities to talk to their higher ups to find out what their schedule is so we can meet hopefully this week. So I have 2 charities in the gate to interview next week and the week after. Cross your fingers. And right now, as we speak, an email is going out to the organizations that are part of the Arizona nonprofit Arizona Alliance for Nonprofits, asking them if they want to be part of the project. So if you are not a charity and you are thinking, I want to learn more about what she's doing. If you're a nonprofit, I'd like for you to go to the comments in this broadcast and look at micalizzienterprises.com/AOFGB for Art of Fearlessly Giving Back, and take a look at the project. What I'm doing is I'm looking for 13 charities. So we've got one in the gate already. So last week we interviewed Don Marie Rappaport from the Homeless Engagement Lift Partnership. And so now I've got 2 other charities I've got my fingers crossed on. So right now there's 9 spots, or there's 10 spots open for charities that I could interview and tell your nonprofit story, and then tell the story of 13 key donors or prospective donors, maybe people that you'd like to be donors in your organization. And it's a long 15-week process where we're talking about your mission and the mission of the businesses and the individuals that support you. And then at the end of the series, there's an art opening, and all the paintings that I create, which will be posted weekly starting August 27th, are put into an art opening. So you can go to the link and read what I just said as far as the understanding of the project, and email me at michelle@micalizzienterprises.com and let me know if your charity might want to be considered for this fundraising project. So I have a big, hairy, audacious goal. So those of you who have read Good to Great, or you're familiar with Tim Collins or Stephen Covey, I always begin with the end in mind, and I always create a big, hairy, audacious goal, a BHAG, right? So my BHAG for this project is that I gift $1 million to a charity. That's my goal. I know, it's crazy, right? So essentially what that means is that when the paintings auction at the art opening, I would like to find 15 donors that are willing to write a $56,000 check. Isn't that ridiculous? Totally ridiculous. But why not? I mean, if you're gonna do something, why not set a really crazy goal? So my goal for the Art of Fearlessly Giving Back, maybe it won't be this year. I mean, I don't know. Maybe it might. You never know. It might be this year. So my goal for the project is to write $1 million check to all the nonprofits that I work with on this project. So if you're a nonprofit and that $1 million number sounds kind of interesting to you, and you want to be part of my big, hairy, audacious goal, then email me at michelle@micalizzienterprises.com. Okay. So the other thing I'm going to talk about in the health and fitness part of what my story today. So in segment 2, I am actually on the 52nd day of 140 days, on the 7th week of 20, preparing to get ready for the OCB Slayer Classic. So I am actually going to be doing a bikini competition, and I'm starting actually to get really super nervous about it. Like really super nervous, because I have moved, and my move was a lot more, I don't know, entertaining than I wanted it to be. I had to put together all my furniture, and getting settled has been interesting. My boyfriend moved into a new place too, so I helped him get settled. And I also took a couple trips. So I went to Vegas for the Isogenics conference, and I went to San Diego for another conference, the Social Media Marketing World. And so it's taken me some time to actually get settled in my place. And when I set this goal, it was right when I moved in. And I said it because I wanted to kind of light a fire under my butt, which I have. I've been training 1 or 2 days a week, 6 days a week for the past 7 weeks, but my intensity level is not there. And although I am leaning out and I am losing fat, my weight is not budging as quickly as I'd like it to, and it's because I'm gaining muscle and losing fat simultaneously. So I'm starting to get really super nervous about it. It's part of my process too. So I have these 2 crazy goals, the Art of Frills is giving back, which is going to open in December, and the OCB Slayer Classic that's coming up in August. So I have 89 days to get ready, which means I have like a serious amount of work to do. And so you can tune in on a weekly basis to kind of hear me panic about that or get excited about it on Facebook Live. And you can also, I'm looking at my screen right now for a second to make sure I have my timing set for the next folks that are coming in. So today we are going to speak to Taylor Nelson and April Prothera. So Taylor Nelson is the owner of Nelson's Mandalas, and April Prothera is the owner of Going Greenhouse. So April and I shot a video a couple weeks ago, and Be Live didn't save it. So I'm going to go get them on the board, and so come back for segment 3 with Taylor Nelson of Nelson's Mandalas. It's a really good play on words in her part. So come back for segment 2 in just a few minutes. Okay, I'll talk to you soon.